Well, good afternoon and happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Irish people and people that pretend to be Irish and everybody else. So today we're going to talk about our freestyle book, which is called Bounce Back. Simple enough, bounce back. We all have those little detours in our journey that we kind of stray off the path a little bit, and we want to make sure that we stay right on track. And occasionally we're going to have a problem and we're going to need to bounce back. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about bouncing back. If you watch my daily vlog, you see that I've been worrying all week because I really thought I had a gain. I did really poorly last Sunday, and I went out to eat on Thursday, and even though I stayed within my points, I could have chosen better. But and yesterday I just felt so bloated. So I drank a lot of water, and it paid on the scale because I lost 0.9 for a 65.9 loss, and so now I'm 238.3, which puts me a little more securely in the 30s. I was so afraid today I was going to go back into the 40s, and once I left the 50s, I swore I was never going to go back into the next set of digits, and I was kind of worried that that might happen this week. Whew, but it didn't. I was so lucky. These are my father's pins. My father's passed in 1983, but St. Patrick's Day was his favorite holiday, and so I wear them in honor of him. So anyway, let's talk about the book. You know, we really didn't talk too much about the book today at the meeting. She had a lot of food finds, and a lot of people shared their journeys of bouncing back, so she didn't really elaborate a lot. But her quote was, "We all get distracted. The question is, will you bounce back or bounce forward?" So we have to know that we got to bounce forward. We just really have to keep bouncing forward. So to go over the book a little, because she didn't talk about the book, it mostly starts at the beginning about this one member who was really doing great on her Weight Watchers journey, and then Hurricane Harvey hit her and she got displaced, and when she left the house it was just get out right away, and so she wasn't able to pack anything. And it wasn't until her life stopped being so chaotic and she went back to normal living that she realized that she had put some weight back on. But you know what? She bounced back. And that's what you got to do. You just got to bounce back. And they tell you, setbacks happen to all of us, though maybe not a hurricane force. But whether it's a missed meeting, unplanned eating, skipping your morning walk, or not tracking, lapses like these are temporary when you identify them, accept them, and move past them. There are some days, well, weekends, when I don't track, although I'm tracking this weekend. And I do bounce back on Mondays. I wish that I could do that on the weekends, and this weekend I plan on doing that. I've had difficulty in the past, but like they said today, I'm going to show you again, bounce back. That's my plan. I'm going to bounce back. And what you want to do is think of a setback at a time when an old unhelpful behavior pops back up. My bad behavior is, especially if I eat out early in the day, that I'm going to eat crazy the whole rest of the day. There's something preservative or something, I don't know, maybe it's the sugar, I don't know what it is, it could be psychological, but it just sets something off in my brain that tells me, you gotta eat, let's eat, let's eat, let's eat. And I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. And so now I've recognized it. I went with my sister-in-law Bertie. We went out to Noodles and Company, and I got the pasta marinara, I think it was called, with some garlic bread. And it just set me off for the day. But I recognized the trigger, and I really stayed on track. And even though it was a heavy meal, I think it was like 15 or 16 points for one meal, I had a 3-point dinner. So I stayed well within my, and I had a 5-point snack of some almonds. So I did choose healthy for the rest of the day. It also makes you, at least me, really thirsty. And I know it's the sodium and the preservatives that's in food when you eat it out. And but I strive through the day. It was difficult, but I managed, because the old person, the old Sandy, would have said, you know, what the heck, you ate out. You might as well eat out. Because was that the night that Jim had? Oh yeah, Jim was coming home from McDonald's, and he called me and said, would you like some McDonald's? And I said no. No, wait, was that McDonald's? Yeah, that was McDonald's. And I said no because I was going to make myself a piece of chicken and a baked potato, and I had some broccoli with it. And was that the day? I think, no, that was the next day. Well, one of the days, one of the triggers wanted to go off. I should look in my book because I did write it down. Your new behaviors have embedded themselves enough that your old behaviors seem, well, old and unhelpful. So you have to reprogram your mind to subconsciously track your smart points. And you have to program your mind to eat better. And even before I went into the restaurant, the old Sandy would have just went in, got the menu, looked and seen what I wanted to order, and then ordered. On the way to the restaurant, because we had determined that's where we were going to go, I got out my phone, went on my app, and I was trying to find some foods that I would want to eat. There were lower point foods I could have chosen, but I chose not to. I wanted to enjoy the meal, and I just knew that I would have make up for it later in the day, and I did. To bounce back from a setback, first ask yourself what you can learn and what you can change to ward off that setback again. Mine is not tracking on the weekends. I'm aware of that now, so I'm going to start tracking on the weekends. Even on Sundays, because Sundays I've always in the past not tracked because my body, I need to trick into thinking that I'm still not starving. Although I'm not starving on this plan. I eat a lot at one meal, but I eat very slow. Like when you see my breakfast, it probably takes me to eat my breakfast 45 minutes. I'm just a slow eater. I've always been a slow eater. Unfortunately, even in the past, even though I was a slow eater, I ate all the wrong foods. I eat them slowly, but I eat a lot of them. So anyway, you want to turn to your support systems. You can check at your meeting. If you have the Weight Watchers app, go on the Connect. There's a lot of stories on there that you can see. And you can hear what other members are doing. And you just have to remember that you don't have to let today's setback set your whole week ahead of you. Even if it's just like, I get weighed on Saturday, so this is the beginning of my week. But in my mind, Monday is the beginning of the week. When in theory, Sunday is the beginning of the week. But I just start from there. I did like this. It tells you what to do. Right here, on this page, what to do. And what to do is, which I am going to do. I am going to do this. It said, write a letter to your future self. When you have a setback, pull out your letter and read it to help you get right back on track. And if a paper and a pen isn't your style, send yourself an email. Sometimes I send myself a text. And then later on when I go through my text to see whether or not I want to delete them or not, because I don't keep very many texts on my phone. A lot of times I'll keep them on there. Sometimes you can put things on your notes on your apps. Put something on your calendar as a reminder next week. Oh yeah, check my letter that I wrote, just to see how you're doing. What you want to do in the letter is remind yourself that your setback is a normal part of your journey and it has nothing to do with who you are. Then you want to cheer your progress. If you say, like I would say, I let Sundays get away from me. I don't track. But I've lost 65.9 pounds, and so I'm doing well. And then even non-scale victories. When I went and got my jeans, it's way smaller than I thought. My biggest jeans that I have, which I still have, which I'm going to keep forever because I want that as a constant reminder, were a 32-34. And I'm in a 22 right now. I think I'd fit in a 20, but I'm waiting to get into the 18s before I buy any more pants. In your letter, list who can help you and how they can help you. You guys are always there for me. You always offer suggestions. Sometimes I think you're afraid to say something to me because you think you're going to offend me. You see this skin? You see this skin? It's thick. It doesn't bother me. If you're doing it out of love and concern, I can read that in your letter. I really can. And even sometimes I know that if you write something down, it doesn't sound the same on paper as it does to say it out loud because there's different inflections on it. But I know who's been following me for a while, and I know who's telling me from the goodness of their hearts. And even if you have to say like Cher, snap out of it. Sometimes I need that. We all need that. So you get an envelope, you put it in the envelope if you're writing a letter, and you put it up, open me when you, and then you decide when you want to open it. And then sometimes you could just mail yourself a letter. And then maybe you'll get it in a day or two, and then you'll just say, oh, I got a letter from somebody important. And it's just yourself. But that might work, but I'm going to do that. A lot of times I go back in my journal. Obviously with the YouTube channel, I can go back and look at old videos and I can see my progress that way. Just looking at pictures, a lot of times that'll do it. But the Think Again page over here is The unhelpful thought is, I can't believe how much I ate during that St. Patrick's Day party. I know better than that. And now I'm so off track. But the helpful thought is, I may have gone over my Smart Points budget today, but I normally hit the healthy zone. This was one situation. It was important for me to enjoy the holiday. I'm getting right back on track. That's the way I think. I plan on going out to eat twice next week. And both at the same restaurant, the Outback. But I'm going on Tuesday with our sibling dinner because we're going to celebrate my sister Denise's birthday, and then on Thursday with the couples dinner. I'm going to 2 Outbacks, but 2 different ones, so at least it'll seem a little like a fresher restaurant. But I'm going to make some smart choices. And even if I decide to have something, because I love the Alice's Spring Chicken, which is like a zillion loaded points, I'm going to save my weeklies. I'm going to do some carryovers. I'm going to eat very light meal earlier in the day. I'm going to enjoy the meal. I'm going to enjoy the fun of being with my friends and my family, and just move on the next day and get right back on track. The unhelpful thought is, eating in a healthy way is just too challenging sometimes. I'm not sure I can keep it up. But the helpful thought is, eating in a healthy way isn't always easy, but I don't have to be perfect. When I slip, it's not a failure. It's a chance to learn what to change so I can avoid that setback again. We've all had setbacks. We've all had challenges. And you just got to hit that reset button. Don't beat yourself up. I like eating healthy. I really do. And it's a lifestyle I can follow for the rest of my life, because it's not like I have to go and buy this particular frozen dinner because this is what's on the plan. I can pick anything I want. I'm not going to eat this because I have never in my life had an eggplant, but it's pork and vegetable wraps. You guys might like it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's up my alley. But that's about it for the book. The quotes that she had was spring forward, bounce back, which makes sense. Also, you need to be accountable to yourself. You don't have to worry what anybody else thinks. You know, like if you go somewhere and they go, oh, she's on Weight Watchers. Look what she's eating. Oh my gosh, she's eating that on Weight Watchers. I thought she was on a diet. Don't worry about them. You're accountable to yourself. You know how many points you're allowed. You know whether or not you had enough points for the day or if you're going over. You know if you're going to control it the next day and get those points back reined in. Don't worry about what other people said. Remember, thick skin. And what you want to do is figure out why you're falling off the wagon. Is it because you're hungry? Sometimes your body's just telling you you're not eating enough. So you need to eat. If you're really truly hungry, your body's telling you, I'm hungry. Feed me. Feed me. And that's what you have to do. If it's stress, identify the stress and move on from there and just know, I'm not going to let that control me. And if you're eating out, look at the apps before you go. Look at the menus. See what you're going to pick. Choose healthy. Enjoy the time you're with your friends, and don't concentrate so much on the food, but on the atmosphere where you're at. And you don't need to restrict yourself. Think of it as a lifestyle. Think of it as a gift to yourself. So what's the best gift you can give to somebody? And it's the gift of you. It really is. And I don't mean that in a conceited type of way. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. And so you just have to remember to take care of yourself. So at the end of this video, I'm going to put a little clip. I texted Weight Watchers. There's a way that you can see the book if you're an online member. And so at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. I tried to do it on my phone, but I couldn't do it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not an online member. Maybe I only pay for the membership. I don't know. Something like that. But at the end of the video, check it out and see if you're interested in looking at the book. So I'll see you guys next week. And remember, don't beat yourself up. Bounce back. You can do it. We all can do it. And happy St. Patrick's Day.